Welcome. This lesson, entitled Adjustment and Interpretation, will demonstrate where and how you can add your experience and judgment to the fire behavior predictions you make. We will discuss applying persistence concepts to your fire behavior prediction. Persistence is a forecasting technique that serves meteorologists each day. It will be critical to calibrating and adjusting your predictions when you make them. We will discuss changes in the key factors that influence significant changes in fire behavior from one day or one time to the next. We will want you to consider how history, fire history, and weather history, or climatology, can be used to guide your interpretation. And we will encourage you to turn the numbers into a picture of what you expect will happen today and how it will affect your decisions. Again, I encourage you to keep the fire assessment worksheet handy to reinforce the entire process. In this case, we will be documenting our thoughts in the Adjustments and Interpretation section near the bottom of the worksheet. Whatever your forecast is, its primary value is in helping make sure your fire line decisions make sense. Spread rates, especially expected changes in them, help you determine whether you can keep up. Flame length, spotting, and crown fire predictions will help in safe placement and appropriate tactics on staffed fire lines. Make sure you visualize your forecast in time and space, then communicate that when you brief your plan. Though you will be focused on what you know has happened on your fire, putting your fire in a historical context will ensure you consider the range of possibilities. More and more fire history maps are available. Maybe there are fires you've been told to reference. Is large fire growth a regular or rare event? What directions do they tend to spread in? Most places have critical fire weather patterns that precipitate significant fire activity. If they are clearly defined, you can compare the conditions today on your fire to those. While U.S. pocket cards emphasize ERC and BI to identify extreme fire potential, interpreting a combination of codes and indices from the FWI system can help you evaluate the potential for spotting ignition, fire spread, flame length, and extreme fire behavior. Using persistence in your prediction requires you to first determine which of the most important factors are expected to change. Wind, as we all know, is the biggest factor in any fire behavior prediction. Abrupt increases from cold fronts and outflows can increase spread rates by 200 times. Litter fires burn slowly on the surface, but if you expect your fire to move into the open or transition to a crown fire, spread rates can increase as much as 15 times. Fuel bed flammability can and does change from day to day. Check the overnight humidity recovery. Look for significant changes in the forecast. More sun, much warmer, and drier conditions. Use information from your weather network. In the table above, note that FFMC and ISI are expected to rise rapidly from 7:12 to 7:14. And in the graph below, note how RH in blue did not recover much at all in the morning hours of October 15th. If you document what fire behavior you see when it changes each day, you can use it to help frame the fire behavior you expect today. Expect fire to be more active in the afternoon. Consider yesterday afternoon or a day earlier in the week as a point of reference if the weather and FWI codes tell you they were similar. Look for what in the fire environment makes today different: weather, fuels, and terrain. Can you see your situation as a critical event? Be aware of the potential. You can compare yesterday's FWI codes and indices with today's forecasted values. In this case, June 25th is forecasted to have much the same weather as the 24th. These conditions should drive fuel a little more. As a result, the change in FFMC is small but significant. Look at the ISI, BUI, and FWI. They are essentially unchanged from the day before. Persistence tells you that the day-to-day changes in weather won't produce big changes from yesterday. Keep in mind, though, that the big change may be in a slope reversal or a fuel type change. Persistence forecasts won't help you coming out of a rainfall. The first place to look is for similar situations in the recent past. Tables like this can help you find a frame of reference. Making your prediction for June 28th can be aided by what you know happened on June 23rd. Weather and FWI codes are very similar for the 2 days coming out of recent precipitation. It's still a persistence forecast, but finding it will require some investigation. Go back through your notes from June 23rd. Remember what you learned that day. When you read the forecast in the morning, does it warn you of a significant change in the weather? Think about when things will change and how it will occur. Get specific about your fire. Where will fire want to go? Where will you be? What fuel and terrain changes do you expect there? Make a prediction, since what you saw yesterday won't be your frame of reference anymore. Finally, in this presentation on adjusting and interpreting your prediction for expected fire behavior, keep in mind what you've learned throughout this course. The Fire Weather Index, or FWI system of fuel moisture codes and fire behavior indices, if studied historically, can help you identify important thresholds for changes in fire behavior. These values alone may tell you that no significant increase in fire behavior is expected. The Fire Behavior Prediction, or FBP system, brings fuels and terrain into the assessment. You can factor in how fire behavior you see now, backing down a slope, will change when it reverses and begins to burn upslope. You can consider how a litter fire smoldering in the morning will change during peak of the day conditions this afternoon. These concepts give you a framework to evaluate your prediction. Will you use it, modify it, or disregard it as you determine your expected fire behavior? Thank you.